Welcome to the Great Lakes Podcast. I'm one of your many hosts, Addie Jones.
I'm Hallie Cook, and we're super excited to officially be launching this podcast. Our goal is to bring you product trends, new products, hear from Great Lakes experts, and overall just be an entertaining podcast to listen to like on a job site commute when you're out and about.
Yeah, our goal with this podcast is simple, and it's just to partner with you and help you succeed in the industry, and we are super excited to roll these out this season.
Without further ado, let's go. Welcome to the Great Lakes Podcast. I'm Hallie, and this is Josh. Josh has been with Great Lakes since 2021.
Yep.
And what all do you do here?
So we all kind of wear a lot of hats around here. I do all the natural stone purchasing, a little bit of sales, some logistics kind of here and there stuff. So a lot of hats, but that's kind of a day-to-day focus.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about natural stone today, what to expect for 2026, and a new product we have. Let's just kick it off. Josh, what are we seeing for stone in 2026?
25 was strong, and it seems to be carrying over to 26 from a design aspect, but what we kind of see changing is earth tones coming back around. So before it was grays, charcoals, white, really contemporary, modular materials, and last year we started to see more requests for tans and buffs, browns, earth tones, that kind of thing. So really tried to take a focus on that, more rustic elements, weathered boulders, mossy boulders, that kind of stuff. So as far as our product line goes, you're going to see the same tried and true stuff that we've always carried. But we're trying to build on kind of where we see the market going from a more natural, aesthetic, weathered, earth tones, kind of coming back around.
Awesome. So you mentioned a few products there, but what products are our most earthy tones, kind of heading towards that trend?
Yeah, so mossy boulders is something we brought on last year. Really cool, really unique, great kind of accent placement boulders, or something to either build a boulder wall with or sprinkle in. There's like some stuff has ferns growing out of them. They're loaded with moss. So a lot of people will, do boulder walls and plant, sedums or different like ground covers to kind of make it more natural, where if you use this product, you build a wall out of it or throw it in a landscape, it looks like it's been there for years. So that's super exciting. From a tan buff perspective, we're adding our Bay Harbor Buff product line. So we're really excited about that one. Basically, it's going to be a tan sandy buff color tone. We're bringing that in a 6-inch sawn wall, a 12-inch sawn wall. We're bringing in some dimensional steps for that stuff. Really, really excited about that one. Tan tones from a natural perspective have been kind of, weirdly enough, a hard color scheme to hit. We'll be bringing in some outcrop for that product line as well too, so super excited there. As always, tried and true Cedar Falls, kind of hits that tone, light gray, tans, browns, that sort of thing. Like I said, really trying to hit on that earth tone movement coming back around after the last 5, 6, 7 years being more predominant grays, charcoals, that kind of thing.
So our Bay Harbor Buff is the new to 2026, new to Great Lakes this year.
Yep.
What's the price point look like on that?
Really good. The 12-inch and 6-inch are hitting the same price point per ton. As far as the 12-inch wall goes, you lose a little bit coverage because it's a 12-inch deep versus an 8-inch deep on the 6. But for the material, great price point. I mean, you're gonna be able to slap together walls really quick there with, whether it's a freestanding or an actual retaining wall installation. So I think that's going to be a good ad for us.
Yeah,
excited to bring that to our base.
Yeah, for sure. We talk a lot about direct ship lately. What do you kind of recommend when it comes to natural stone direct ship? How should we know, maybe this project is a good fit for direct ship? What is kind of your...
Yeah, so we always look at, quantity first. For instance, what we direct ship the most is going to be outcropping Canadian materials, so Cedar Falls, our mochas, Great Lakes limestone. Those come over 45-ton loads. So math on that, we always figure about 5 square foot to a ton. So you're getting, 225, 250 square foot to a truck. So 50 ton can sound like or 45 ton can sound like a lot, but when you actually figure the coverage rate on it and everything, it's really easy to bring on a truckload. So certain projects, we work on that stuff with guys of doing direct ships. And then what I always recommend, it's not for every company, but some contractors out there that have, infrastructure, a shop and everything. I always recommend get a direct load in spring, bring it in. It's going to, especially the local contractor base, it's going to save them from, running up here and grabbing 5 ton here, 10 ton here. And you're saving a good deal of money too from, if you're going to go through 50 ton in spring,
Right.
accent boulder here, small wall here, that cost savings is more than worth it. So direct ship from a Canadian outcropping perspective makes a whole lot of sense. From there, we can direct ship anything. Bluestone product line, any limestones from our partners over at Halquest in Wisconsin, Canyon Stone building blocks like Fieldstone boulders. That's a new thing we're excited about. We were able to shrink our price point for our contractors this year, reworked a couple things, and super excited to be more of a supplier of boulders as well. So stocking or bigger projects, let us know. The other factor that we always look at is site access. Whenever we get an address for a direct ship, that's one of the first things we do is check Google Maps, look at access. Can we get a gravel train back there? Can we get a flatbed back there, a tandem back there? Because that's always the biggest question. And then, if we can, great. If not, we kind of work through different staging areas, offload areas. Is it going to go to your shop and you redistribute it? So always something to work through, but it makes sense and it's a growing opportunity every year for contractors.
For sure. Yeah, I'd say like if you're listening and you have a project coming up and you want us to take a look at what that might be direct ship wise, we'd love to have the conversation and send in your project and specs, and we'll quote it based on direct ship if possible.
Absolutely.
I want to transition into something that is kind of new for us. At the Great Lakes Trade Expo the last few years, we've had a sawn wall fire pit kit. I just want to share a little bit about where that came from, what the price point is on something like that. Yeah,
so specifically square, sawn walls are super friendly to make fire pit kits with. I mean, you're going to get a tight height tolerance, and you can put together a fire pit very simply with that material. And it really doesn't matter what sawn wall material it is. It just really looks exquisite, looks really put together, really formal. So that's something we've started fabbing some in-house. We have our Keystone fire pits. We've put together some Chilton Winnebagos and showed those at GLTE, but really no limitations as far as what you can and can't use. At the end of the day, you can use anything. You just got to make sure you throw a steel fire pit ring in there, because rock, concrete, it doesn't matter. None of it's fire rated, so you got to create that buffer there. Really a growing product line for us. Really hits a design aspect. We've seen a lot of square-bodied installations, and that just fits so formal instead of going square patio, round fire pit. It kind of doesn't leave a lot of design limitations. Square, rectangle. Like I said, we're starting to fab some in-house, or if you're doing something more custom, it can be as simple as buying a skid and constructing it yourself too.
Yeah.
So super user friendly, really good price point for all things considered. Can really give an exquisite end product.
Yeah, it's natural, but it looks so sharp.
Yep.
Just fits really well. Are those going to be available in Kalamazoo and Cedar Springs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So I think right now we fab some Keystone and some Chilton Winnebagos. As demand builds for them, we can do anything.
Okay.
So
great. We've talked a lot about Banas across our social media and in emails. We brought Banas on in 2025 as a vendor. Why did we do that?
So Banas filled a really good need for us. As we've seen the natural stone market grow and build and asked for more and more, Banas has allowed us to bring a really high quality product to the market at a very good price point. So often when I start talking with people who aren't aware of the product line, they're like, natural, expensive, and then when I actually present them with the square foot pricing on a lot of their products, people are really shocked, and shortly thereafter, we see orders come through. Banas has been a great partner for us. Very, very good quality, a bunch of color options, and it's simply beautiful stone. For those that don't know, Banas imports natural stone from overseas. Some comes from their quarry. Some stuff is sourced, so we're bringing in sandstones and limestones, granites, travertines. Great product line. For everything they have, there are pavers, steps, and coping to match. So no wall materials. Those other 3 SKUs, they do a great job on. Really had a good, strong first year with them, and 26 looks even better. Some of their popular colors, Dove Gray, which is a light gray, light to medium gray. You have Slate Gray, which is kind of like a medium, kind of dark gray. And a bunch of others. Beige is more of like what we're used to calling like a Fond du Lac buff color. Really excited about what 26 holds for that, and just building that familiarity with the contractor base more than anything of like, hey, if you get asked for it, it's price point's right there.
Yeah. Right
there with concrete products. Don't get me wrong, there's cheaper options, there's more expensive, but like for what it is, for where it comes from, for the quality and everything, it's a home run. What products are we stocking? So we are stocking, for the travertines, we're stocking their Silver Mix Premium. For sandstones, we are doing Dove Gray, Slate Gray, Brown, and Beige. Limestones, we're bringing in their Coda Black. So we're trying to bring in complementary everything. So like I mentioned, coping, steps, paving materials. Those are kind of the hot spots, but as that grows for us, we could do more and build more, and they have a huge product catalog, a bunch of SKUs, a bunch of colors. So you're not limited to what we stock. Yeah. There's definitely other options that we bring in, special order, order by order basis.
Okay, yeah, awesome. That kind of transitions into the next thing. We get asked a lot, like, what are the different colors or types of stone that you can put together on a project? Like if you want matching steps, flagstone, outcropping, what are those product lines that you can kind of do that with really easily?
For sure. So one easy complementary would be our new Bay Harbor buff line. That's kind of that sandy or buff color tone. Like that right there, that pairs great with Banas Beige. Great. From there, you have Dove Gray, and Dove Gray pairs great with either our Keystone product line or our Lannon product line, light gray, dark gray accents, that kind of thing. And same thing with Slate Gray, both can be complementary there. So just because Banas doesn't have wall materials, we kind of have corresponding wall materials that will pair and work great together. So a lot of mix and matching there. None of them are cornered or limited.
What is like the most random thing that we have on the yard in stock that people might not know that we have?
I'm going to give 2. I'm going to say Elite Blue Granite. So we brought that, we kind of had a hiatus with it for a few years, and we brought in a couple loads last fall. For those that aren't familiar, it's a super, super unique product. Blue color hue, very random odd shapes and sizing as far as the actual size goes, but then the veining as well. So that one's super unique, really cool specimen accent rocks versus sprinkling them into boulder walls. Really cool thing to kind of plug and play. And then the other is Mexican pebbles. We've really tried to ramp up our inventory on those. It's an expensive product line, but we get a lot of requests residential, commercial. So that's something where, I don't think a lot of suppliers would keep a load or more in stock of the various sizes of that, which we do in Super Sacks. So that's another one, is that stuff we always try to stay ahead and keep that material in stock ready to go.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to ask the contractor? Anything you want feedback on? New colors?
Anything and everything. Always wondering what at the end of the day, myself especially, like, we take your suggestions, your requests. That directly affects what we're stocking, what we're looking for, what I'm looking for out in the market, because you're the heartbeat. You're the guys that are meeting with the customer base, the end consumers here. So your opinion and influence and everything is greatly appreciated and needed. Yeah. So any feedback on that front of what you're being asked for, what you have a hard time finding, that just helps us serve you better.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for listening. Be sure to comment below any questions, comments, concerns you have, and we'll see you next time.
Happy spring.